Hello and welcome to Piano Shack with me, Woody. We are on the road. Now, when I was a kid, I remember quite vividly seeing the advertisements for the Korg Wavestation and also reading the review in Sound on Sound magazine. And this was a real high-end instrument, way out of my budget, and I remember always wanting one. Now, the strange thing is, believe it or not, I've never played one of these instruments. In fact, I've never even seen one for real, so we need to put that right. Tonight I'm on the road. We are going to go and buy ourselves a Korg Wavestation EX. So why don't you join me? It's a lovely evening, and when we get back I'll unpack the synthesizer for you and we'll have a good look around it and I'll tell you a little bit about it. Okay, the deal is done. We have a Wavestation in the boot of the car. Thank you very much to Robert for hooking me up. What a totally nice guy he was. And he showed me his modular synth thing as well, his modular synth rack. You know, I've never got into the modular synth stuff. I don't even understand what it's all about, but I know it's very popular, and this guy had a pretty amazing setup there in his front room. I took a video of it to show you what it looked like. So let's head on home. I can tell you this much, that this Wavestation looks phenomenal. It's in fantastic condition for its age, and I played a couple of the presets and this thing sounds amazing. It's fabulous. You guys are going to love listening to this synthesizer when I get home. So let me head off home if I can find the way. It's about a half-hour drive, a beautiful evening, so let's hit the road. Hey guys, welcome back. We are in the garden and it's actually the next day, but I haven't had a chance to look at this since I picked it up, so I suggest we do this together right away. So I'll draw your attention first to this very cool vintage Korg flight case, and according to the original owner, this was purchased together with the synthesizer when it was new, so this is also the same vintage as the keyboard, and it looks it as well. It's actually a pretty crappy case and it's a bit worn out. As you're carrying it, these things pop off. But anyway, I think it's quite cool to have a vintage Korg flight case together with a keyboard. Let's open this thing up. There it is. I tell you what, I'm going to take it out of the flight case and put it on top so we can have a good look at it. Okay, let's get the camera off the tripod and have a closer look. Now, I haven't checked this out myself, as I said, and I didn't have much time yesterday to inspect it before I bought it, but I think it's in pretty good shape. Let's have a look. So yes, this is the Korg Wavestation EX. Has it lost one of the stickers there? It just says E. It should be an X as well, I think. I don't think there's any model that's called the Korg Wavestation E. We have our numeric keys there, of course. And this was probably quite new at the time. This is the numeric data entry wheel. You didn't have this on the earlier synthesizers like the M1 and the D50. So this was probably quite a new thing at the time. A much bigger screen than we had on the M1 with some soft buttons underneath which change function depending on what's being shown there on the screen. Increment, decrement buttons. We got cursor things over here, the cursor keys, a master volume, and if I just unhook the microphone, we have over here the all-important vector position joystick. I'm not sure what that does, but I intend to find out, of course. Nice pitch bend mod wheels. Let's go around the back. There you go, Korg Wavestation, a rather nice logo. 2 card slots. I don't have any of those to play with, but I intend to load all my patches via system exclusive MIDI anyway. Power on off over there. Here we have, of course, the usual stuff, some MIDI inputs, contrast for the display, lots of outputs, that's nice. Pedal controls, foot switches and phones over there. And yes, I did get lucky. Once again, I've managed to find a mint condition. A couple of very, very small scratches and scuffs, but nothing at all really. I think it's because this thing has probably lived in the case most of its life. That's the advantage of buying a synth was sold together with a flight case, I suppose. Okay, I want to check some of the specs of the instrument whilst we're here. Just a second. I did read that there is a upgrade kit that was made available for the original Korg Wavestation to upgrade it to the EX, and I think that's what we have here actually. The fact that it's missing the X there on the sticker and the fact that it doesn't say anywhere on the back that it's the Wavestation EX makes me think that this is the original model that has been upgraded with a special circuit board or an extra chip inside, but we need to investigate that a bit more, I think. So the debate is still raging over on my Korg M1 video about my claims that it was the first music workstation. Go and check that out if you like. But I thought I'd be a bit more factual this time, so I've printed out some information from Vintage Synth Explorer and Wikipedia, because to be honest, I know nothing about this synthesizer other than I really wanted one when I was a kid but could never afford it because this was a pretty high-end instrument. So we're going to learn about this together. Unless you already know, of course, but I don't. So here we go. When sequential circuits finally went belly up, their research and development into vector synthesis was picked up at Korg. This led to the hugely successful Wavestation synthesizer, which was based on Sequential's Prophet VS. The Wavestation incorporated the 2-dimensional vector joystick of the Prophet VS, which allowed the user to alter and animate sounds. Korg added to this a second breakthrough form of synthesis, wave sequencing, by which short segments of sampled audio waveforms could be played one after the other and cross-faded into each other for some complex and unusual tones, pads, textures and rhythms. The Wavestation had 2 megabytes of ROM-based samples at your disposal. Programming is not exactly easy, but this great digital synth is capable of lush ambient sounds and strange effects. It has the obligatory low-pass filter, though it is non-resonant, yes, just like the M1, and digital sounding. Also on board are some multi-effects which are pretty nice. This synth is easily upgraded and expandable with PCM cards too. Some specifications in case you're not sure what this thing can do, I don't know. Let's see, 32 voices, which is pretty good. We have digital synth, yeah, the oscillators with samples, vector synthesis, wave sequencing, 16 parts. I didn't know this was multi-timbral. 16 parts is very good. We have a filter, we have 150 patches, so that's up from the 100, I think. Was it 100 or 128 on the M1? Keyboard velocity aftertouch, although I haven't verified that aftertouch is working. I forgot to do that yesterday when I picked this up, so we'll have to try that out together. 2 effects, MIDI, up to 8 channels at a time, very good. Between 1990 and 94. So this is probably one of the original Wavestations then from about 1990. You want to do a bit more? I've got some information here from Wikipedia and some cool technical diagrams, so let's do that now. The Korg Wavestation is a vector synthesis synthesizer. That's easy for you to say. First produced in the early 1990s and later re-released as a software synthesizer in 2004. Very interesting. Yes, I have the Korg M1 VST. We definitely need to try out the Korg Wavestation VST. Its primary innovation was wave sequencing, a method of multi-timbral sound generation. Multi-timbral meaning, here we go, in which different PCM waveform data are played successively, resulting in continuously evolving sounds. Awesome! Designed as a pure synthesizer rather than a music workstation, it lacked an onboard song sequencer, yet the Wavestation, unlike any synthesizer prior to its release, was capable of generating complex, lush timbres and rhythmic sequences that sounded like a complete soundtrack by pressing only one key. Yeah, that's my kind of synth. And a diagram here showing how the different sounds fade in and out of each other there. 4 different waveforms playing at once. So a wave sequence is a programmed list of PCM waves, that's just a sample, playing in succession. Each step in the wave sequence can have a different duration, pitch, fine-tuning level and crossfade amount. Additionally, wave sequences can be looped forward or backwards, direction to play indefinitely for a finite duration. They can be looped, yeah. The result is a continuously changing sound, I can't wait to hear this, producing either a smooth blend of crossfaded waves or semi-arpeggiated and rhythmic sequences, or a combination of both. Here we've got some information about the joystick then, the vector joystick. The volume blend or mix ratio between oscillators is varied over time via a dedicated mix envelope, in real time via the front panel's vector joystick. So that's what this does, it's blending between the different waves, the different sounds that are playing at the same time. So that's a bit like the D50, I guess. So I've got one more page here with some highlights that I wanted to read for you. Okay. The Wavestation was designed by a team which included Dave Smith. He's a legendary guy who designed the Prophet 5, an iconic analog synthesizer. I'd love to get my hands on one of those one day, I've never tried one. And along with Roland, helped to invent the MIDI protocol in the early 1980s. I thought Yamaha were behind the MIDI protocol, but I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you know more about that. His synthesizer company, Sequential Circuits, was purchased by Yamaha. Okay, Yamaha in 1988. So his company was purchased by Yamaha, yet his technology ended up in the Korg Wavestation. I don't understand that. The Wavestation is known as one of the best synth pad generators. Yes, that's why I bought it, guys, and has been used by many musicians to explore uncommon synthesis textures. And finally, before we go indoors, because it's getting cold, and I know you guys want to hear this thing, the Wavestation remains one of the most evocative, unusual, creatively designed synths ever. Who says that? Craig Anderton. That's a famous name in the branch. Keyboard Magazine.
piano shack.